How has your week of real estate been?
Oh my God, crazy. We're carrying about 10 listings right now. We just put another one on the market. We have another one coming out next week. We have buyers from Agent Locator that are kind of moving. The last 2 or 3 transactions we've done was from Agent Locator. They just reached out, want to see a property, and the rest is history. I just did one. I just met one over the weekend, and I put an offer in with her in less than 5 days. She didn't get it, unfortunately, but she's hot to trot, and she's under a contract now.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, the leads right now are moving. So
hmm
which is really, really great. How is everyone else finding it?
You guys can use the chat, Q&A,
Yes. This is a
raise
Q and
your
A
hand.
session for everyone.
Yeah.
Learn from a 7-figure agent. Let's go. Let me help you. I would love to know what scripts you guys are using. And number one, and I would love to know at the second part after we go through the scripts, how are you following up with your leads? Are you using campaigns? Are we, what are we, what are you doing? Are you finding success?
All right, let me
Anybody?
do that. Anybody? They're all just
Yeah.
watching. Yeah.
Yes. So leave
Um,
voicemails. I know Crystal has a scenario, like, an opinion. I have an opinion. I think it really just depends. If you've been calling a bunch of times and they haven't answered, I think leaving a voicemail is good, but you have to be enticing. What you do
mhm,
not want to do is, hey, Harpreet, it's Nick Moretti calling. Just want to let you know that, I just was calling just to see how you're liking the list of homes. If you're doing that, they're not going to call you back. What you should be
mhm,
doing is when you pull up a lead and you see what they're looking at. So, for example, when I'm pulling up one of our agent locator leads and I'm seeing that they're looking at a certain community, right? What I'm looking for is this. I'm looking at what they're looking for and what properties they've already looked at a bunch of times, right? So I'd be saying, "Hey, Harpreet, I hope you're doing well. It's Nick Moretti. I just actually want to let you know there's a ton of more inventory that is what you're looking for, and I'm not too sure, but based on your criteria that you set, I think 123 Main Street and a few other ones have some really good value, and I think we can get this under market value. Are you available for a quick chat, or give me a call back when you're available? This deal doesn't last long.
mhm.
Something
It's
like that.
essentially offering something of value, right? I noticed you look in this neighborhood, there's a lot of listings that aren't actually hitting the market that are in fact available for sale. If you're interested in receiving these pocket listings, just reach out and I'll be happy to send them your way. Right. So it's something that is more than just give me a call back if we have a couple questions or,
Yeah,
because reality is they're not just going to call back to chat.
yeah,
Let's put it that way. There has to be something in
exactly.
it as to why they're calling you.
I think the intention that anyone has to set is you need to get their attention. How are you going to get their attention?
hmm
How are you going to get their attention, right?
Yeah.
So that's
And
the
I
most
think
important part.
and I think too is kind of considering ourselves. Like we get voice messages, and if you notice, a lot of the companies that are calling you, whether they're scams or not, don't leave voice messages, right? Because they want to talk to you. Because again, the ones that you do receive, you often listen to it or you're reading what it says and there's nothing in it for you like, hey, I'm just calling for whatever to see if you're interested in selling. I get this all the time, see if you're interested in selling your 2019 Ram. Like, well, no, if I was interested in selling it, I would probably reach out and say, hey, I want to sell it. Right, like there's nothing enticing for me to be like, okay, well, why would I sell it? Is there an incentive for me to sell it? Right, so if they're saying, hey, we have an incentive right now for our past you know Ram owners to upgrade or sell off their 2019s. This can include, $10,000 cash back on a new vehicle. If you're interested, give us a call. Right. So now there's an incentive for me to actually want to call back and potentially, sell my truck, even if I was considering to sell my truck.
Of course, of course, makes total sense. So I would love if Keisha, if you're okay, I'd love for you to come on the panel because I think if you want me to help you out with this question, there's a few things that I would love to find, and I would love to kind of see the way that you're pitching it, and then also give you some opinion of how to get them a little bit further. The good part is that you're getting people and you're booking appointments. That's the most important part.
Mhm. Yeah. Are you okay with coming up here? Okay, sure. Sure. So,
That's good.
Hi there.
Hi, Keisha. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you, Nick?
I'm good. I'm good. Living the dream just like everyone else here.
Love it.
Living through the pain and
Yes.
suffering.
Yes.
So,
So,
so kudos to you. Just, finding the scripts and, getting some leads that are purchasing and selling next year and booking
mhm.
appointments. So when you're booking appointments, what does that look like?
So I just basically follow the script. Keisha, saw that you were looking for some homes in such and such an area, and then I just just ask them questions and get a little bit of feedback from them. To be honest, they do tell me during our conversation that they're looking
Booking.
potentially for next year, but I
Yep.
still like to meet them and get in front of them just so
Yep.
that I can make that contact and then I can do pop buys and just like
All
stay
that
top
stuff.
of
Build
mind,
relationships.
right? So that's what I'm doing, even though I know it is for next year. But like I did have an appointment last weekend, last Sunday, and I don't know, this is probably where I need help. But basically they're looking to put it on the market like Jan, Feb next year, right? But I'm like in the middle of winter. So they're doing that. And at the same time, they have a mortgage that's coming up for renewal. I believe they're going to be renewing it in December, right? So I tried to have the conversation such that, like, if it's coming up for renewal, why not try to, maybe get a pre-approval at this point, put your home on the market, and then I can show you some of the houses that you guys are interested in because they are interested. They are responding to my emails and saying, like, hey, I really like this one and all of that. So I'm kind of like almost
Yeah.
there, but it's not quite.
I know
And
what you're doing.
mhm,
I
mhm,
can already help you out with this. So,
mhm.
okay. So, first of all, congratulations. You're doing really, really well. So, great job, Keisha.
Thank
Now,
you.
second is this is okay. So, let me educate a little bit more.
Okay.
A lot of people who want to get the most bang for their dollar or to sell for
Mhm,
the highest is you
mhm,
want to list at the beginning of January.
mhm,
Because that's the lowest point of inventory. So
mhm,
usually because the market stops, the market stops, it doesn't stop, but listings stop coming on by December 14th because Christmas is
mhm,
around the corner, New Year's, people don't want showings unless you have to, right?
mhm,
So basically they're thinking of January, February just because that's usually the lowest point of inventory and that's what you get a lot of money for, right? Because there's less
mhm,
inventory, more demand, more money, right?
mhm.
However, this year specifically, since everything has been going super like wacky in this market, it's
Mhm,
like it's different. So this year, January was a complete flop. There was one week
mhm,
that was busy, which was the first week. Everything else sucked. They
mhm,
sucked. February was good. It was really busy the first 2 weeks, and then like to the end, it was okay. March was okay. April was good, and then price points started going down. Okay, so that's just
mhm,
the education part. Now, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, so you're bringing good points, but you're saying, let's put your house on the market. Let's, let's get a pre-approval. Let's put your house on the market and then let's look at some houses. You're doing that order, in my opinion, wrong for this type of client.
Okay.
Okay. So what
Okay.
I would be doing is, hey, Keisha, I totally
Mhm.
understand, that you're thinking of listing in January, February. If you don't mind me asking, why do you feel like you want to list then?
Because I just feel like I'd be ready. I just came back from a trip and I'm not ready to list my house right now.
For sure, I totally understand that. But when are you coming back from your trip, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, sorry, Nick. So I'm already back from my trip. I'm just pretending
No,
to be
just make it
them.
up. Make it up.
Yeah.
We're just role playing.
Um,
Don't worry.
okay, so I'll be back from
Or
my trip.
sorry, my apologies. Or give me the responses that your lead is telling you now.
Yes.
I can help you out.
Yes.
Okay?
So they're like, "Oh, Keisha, I'm so glad, or I'm Nick, I'm so glad that you're able to come. I just got back from my trip. I was away for about a month, and
Amazing.
I have the kids in school. My daughter, she does have special needs, so she's in school right now, and not really at the, ready to list now, but we'd like to list it, either January, February of next year, and then move into the new home by like April, May of next year.
Makes total sense. If you don't
Hmm.
mind me asking, is there like a certain reason that you think that you want to, list around that time? Because remember, it sounds like you have, a really busy household, which is amazing. You have
Hmm.
some extra support for your child, which is
Hmm.
amazing. But you're
Hmm.
also now thinking of now listing in cold weather, snow,
Mm-hmm.
and ice. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
going to do through showings, then I think that you might feel a little bit more stressed out. Now, I can totally understand why you may want to list then, because historically, usually the lowest point of inventory is January, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
usually where you get the best, the highest amount of inventory. However, you have to realize that, if the market continues to do that, right? Let's just say, the trend is still there, you're also going to be buying in low inventory. So you're
Mm-hmm.
also going to be spending a little bit more than maybe what you anticipated. So I think the question is, if you found the right house for the right price, would you consider moving sooner?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think what we should do, if you're okay, Keisha, is I have an understanding of what you're looking for. Let me showcase homes that, I feel is best for you. And if you see anything from your list, let me know. And let's go take a look at some properties right now. And
Mm-hmm.
this is more in the information stage. I'm not, I hope you understand, Keisha. I'm not being, if you write an offer, you write an offer, but this is more of an information session. But right now, there's some really good opportunities, especially, are you looking to upsize or are you looking to kind of do a lateral move?
Upsize.
Okay, so this is the time when you want to do this because right
Mm-hmm.
now the market is slower over the 9 to 1 million mark. Okay, so you
Mm-hmm.
sell your house under that 800. I don't know what property they have, but I'm assuming they have like a single car house or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, so right now you can sell your house because it's still in trend. Anything under that 900 is still moving as long as it's priced right. And
Mm-hmm.
anything over that 1 million mark is stagnating. And this is where we're seeing a lot more price drops. And I'm sure from the list I'm sending you, you're seeing that
Mm-hmm.
consistently. And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, this is where we're still getting better negotiable deals. So in a really busy market or in a higher, value market, you may sell high, but you're buying high. Right now, what you're doing is you're buying opportunity. So now that upsize is, you sell for here, but that upsize gap on a high market is here. But in this market, you're here. So now you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to increase your mortgage. You get more, like you don't have to increase your mortgage as much. You get more value from your money, right? And also
Mm-hmm.
now you have opportunity. You have so many listings that you can see and view and get the best competitive price. And
Mm-hmm.
when
I
we
like
put an
that.
offer on your property, right? In
Mm-hmm.
this market, we can do a sale of buyer's property condition, right? So do you know what that is, Keisha?
Yes, it is. I haven't done that myself, but
Okay.
that's
Can I
happening.
educate?
Sure, please.
Okay, so basically, for everyone here, what is sale of buyer's property? Sale of buyer's property condition. So either called an SBP or an SPP. So this is important because in faster markets, you're not getting this. Usually, you would be getting this in like 1.5, $2 million ranges. Okay, now since
Mm-hmm.
the market is stagnating and kind of softer, the higher listings will usually allow this. However, even though you lock it down on that condition, and let's say you have 30 days to sell the property, the seller, so Crystal, let's say she's the seller, she would still be able to market the property, accept showings, and accept another offer. Now, in the event
Mm-hmm.
that they have another offer, based on the escape clause that you've written and everything's get accepted on, either 24 or 48 hours, if she gets another offer that's satisfied to her, then basically they would say, "Hey, Keisha, we got another offer. Your time starts now, 24 or 48 hours." So either that's when your client's going to take the risk and firm up, or they're going to lose the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's how that condition works. But there is a lot of good opportunity where at least they feel a little bit comfortable. And if you have these conversations up front about how I'm explaining it, you just have to know then, either if you really like the house, we'll fight for it and we'll get it done. Because in your price
Mm-hmm.
range, things are moving compared to the million plus,
Mm-hmm. Okay, I
right?
like that.
So that's what I would do. And then
Mm-hmm.
have you already gone to their house to do a home assessment?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect. So basically, all you need to do is just kind of go from there, and then on top of that, just say, so this is going to be a great opportunity for you to see, and I'm telling you, there's a lot more opportunity now than what you're going to be looking for in January, February. And when I was talking about buying opportunity, you're buying right now when the market is softer. There's really good, attractive price points, but buyers are not buying, and interest rates are going down, so you're getting a better interest
Yes.
rate than you did a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like all the signs are saying like timing is happening, and I understand that your life is busy, but you just explained to me that if you see the right property for the right price, you're ready to move on it. And if I
Mm-hmm.
were you, I would rather take showings and, deal with your family matters in, warmer to, fall weather rather than doing this all in, really harsh weather.
Mm-hmm.
That way, in
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, you can be in your house already, and you don't have to worry. And all you guys have to do is enjoy your space.
Okay.
That's what you're doing.
Okay.
So to regroup, you want to show them opportunity, get them pre-approved. Like obviously people are going to say, well, Nick, you should get them pre-approved before. However, you have to understand that they already have a house to sell. They have equity. And Keisha,
Mm-hmm.
like if you know your market and you kind of know what their number is and it makes sense, then I mean, show them the property. Show them it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So many
Okay.
agents are so stuck on pre-approval, which I totally understand. However, if they're just a buyer, you want to put that message more. If they're a seller
Right.
and buyer, it's a little different because they have equity. And especially if you already did a home assessment, you already know where the values are.
Mm-hmm.
So, so regroup. You want to show them. Why do you want to show them? Because you want to get them motivated.
Yes.
Us talking about how great life is doesn't help. But what helps is like, and I always say cars, but if you were shopping for a car and, a broker messaged you and said, hey, I have this car at a really good price, we price dropped it, and it was one of the cars you were really looking for, I'm sure you're going to go in and get motivated to see it. Whether you do the deal or
Mm-hmm.
not, you get motivated. You need to get them more motivated because when they're motivated, they'll act on an offer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Right? But let's say if you can't get the sale of buyer's property condition in, this is where you have to bet on your skills and your knowledge. And in this
Mm-hmm.
market, if something's worth, let's say 850 to 950, you're leaning on the 850 side,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's just what it is. So, so if that is the case where you can't have it, you should do a 90-day closing. And then once you sell the
90
property, you can advance the closing date. But you need
Okay.
the 90 days to make sure A, you sell, and
Mm-hmm.
B, to match the similar closing date that, the buyer that needs your property for.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Do you see where kind of like where the conversation may be a little bit
Mm-hmm.
better?
Absolutely. Just making sure that I'm kind of educating them about what's going on right now in the market, why it's a good time now with the interest rates, the abundance of inventory, and of course with the rate drop, you're going to get, and also because of that over $1 million mark of homes, there is actually price change and price reduction there. So you have the opportunity to buy that
Yes.
type of home at a lower price, but yet your home being under a million is still selling, still moving. So there's
Yes.
not as much a gap in the mortgage. Mortgage rates
Yes.
are down. Let's the time is now.
Yes.
Also the weather component, right? All
Yes.
of that.
The other thing
Yeah.
that you have
Mm-hmm.
to bring through because people like
Mm-hmm.
these and like we have to be careful. It's like driving standard, right? You guys know how to drive
Mm-hmm.
standard. The clutch and then you have the gas to balance it.
I
So
don't actually.
that's okay. So that's kind of how it works, right? So what
Okay.
you're trying to do is you don't want to sell like you're selling too much. So when you're
Mm,
selling these items, what you need to bring back now to put the gas in to like balance it so the car doesn't
mm,
stall, so your buyer
mhm.
feel like you're selling them, is go back to the reasons of why they want to move. So Keisha, why do they want to move? Give me 3 reasons.
They want a bigger house.
Okay.
They want more bedrooms, more bathrooms, and more space, bigger yard. Their kids are grown up, so they're like
Yes.
teenagers, so they
Yes.
want more
More
room for
privacy.
everyone.
So
Exactly.
this is where you're going to say. So you're going to say those things, right?
Okay. Okay.
And then you're also going to say, but keep in mind, Keisha, all this basically means is, this means that you're going to be able to get a better price, less competition than you would have even like 6 months ago, to get more space in your house, to get more rooms, and to give your kids more privacy as they're growing older. And you're getting it for a good price and still selling high. So,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, Keisha, I think now's the time. So all I just need you to do is when are you available to go out? Let's go take a look at some houses. Are you available Thursday or Friday next week? What works best for you? That's how you
Thursday.
get them out.
Yes. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, I'm running this.
That's it. You're crushing it.
Okay. Okay.
Great job.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing. Everyone moves a little differently. This lead might be a little bit longer. Remember, these leads are 3 to 18 months out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your job for these leads is build relationships like you're doing, Keisha, and now getting them motivated to go out. That's the hardest part, but you have to speak to them in the reasons why they want to move. Because if you keep saying, not you, I'm just saying you as just anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is if you could just keep saying hard reasons to sell them, the relationship's not going to feel like trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to bring it back on why it's good and then speak their language on why it's better so they can understand and relate to it.
Okay.
right? And all you're doing with these leads is building relationships. That's why agent locator leads are so good because they're on Google, they're not on social media. Some of your ads may be on social media, but on Google they're saying homes for sale in Bowmanville, homes for sale in wherever. So you're going to be one of the first links clicking up depending on your ad budget, and then you just got to make sure you connect with them. That's it. You're doing a great job with that. And I would just pivot. I bring people out for information sessions. I obviously make sure that they're not working with a realtor. I ask if they're pre-approved. And if they are or if they're not, depending on where their life is and what I feel comfortable with, usually I'll do the one showing to showcase them and meet them. Because so many people miss opportunities because they want BRAs signed, which I understand. I do that too sometimes. But I only do it when I know they're looking for with other realtors.
Okay. Okay. They did
Right?
have another realtor, so I think I'd be safe to show them maybe one or
100%.
two properties just to get
Yeah.
them,
You got to go
more
out and
motivated.
four or five.
Four
Show
or
them
five.
and show them like good ones that you think that would be perfect for them.
Okay.
That's why people work with us. We show opportunity. What I do and what you do, Keisha, it's about showing opportunity.
Okay.
So that's great. Great job.
Thank you.
Yay. Do you have any other questions while you're up here?
What else am I dealing with? Oh, I'm dealing with a seller client right now, and their expectations are somewhat unrealistic, and it's
Yep.
kind of challenging. So because okay, I'm really saying everything right now, but
Whatever.
their partner is very opinionated and doesn't really, I'm
Another
not to be
realtor.
rude, but they don't really know what's going on, and they're being led with wrong advice. And I show them like, okay, some other comparable homes, what have sold, what they've sold for. Um, so their price expectation is way beyond what's actually happening in the market. I try to have that conversation, but it's like I'm being met with a brick wall. Um,
So
it
something
gets.
that you should do, I understand,
Hmm.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Hmm. Hmm.
Something that you should do that I'm doing with some of my sellers is
Hmm.
the price range that they're in, go book showings with with your competition and have them to come through. So I would say, yeah, so you know
Yes.
what, listen, I totally understand where you stand. It's hard, as a real estate agent who looks and studies data all the time, from someone new coming in, I can understand that you may have some emotional connection to the property and, I can understand why you think your house is worth more. However, you have to remember that, every day is a stock market, right? So when you look at your stocks, right, do you have investments?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you understand that they fluctuate. So you can
Hmm.
look at your investments and see really good high numbers. And then the next day or 2 or 3 days, it's now dropped, whatever it's dropped, right? So
Hmm.
this is the same way in real estate. Remember, you, me, sellers, we don't make the decisions of how much, our house is going to sell. The market does. Remember, what is
Hmm.
market value? What a seller will sell for and a buyer to buy and that accepted price in terms. That is
Hmm.
what market value is. So I can understand where you feel like that because right now you're seeing a lot of different, data, right? So why don't we do this? Let's go take a look at our competition and let's see if you still feel that they're better than us or we're better than them with an
Okay.
open mind.
Okay. Okay.
Because sellers need to see, especially in this market, especially with data being so different, where some properties that shouldn't be selling high are selling high, and the ones that are really nice are stagnating or not selling or just selling low.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'll give you an example because I have a Whippy listing. So I'll show you guys this. Oops, sorry. Give me 1 second. So look at this. And I can give you I can tell you this because I'm dealing with it right now. So you're not the only one, which is nice because sometimes when you're in this headspace, you kind of feel like shit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and you pride yourself on doing a great job, right? So this is the problem with one of our listings that we have. So, um, sorry, it would be. And what area do you focus, Keisha?
So I'm actually in Durham too. But I do have that this listing is in Vaughan in Woodbridge. But
Okay.
I work Durham, uh, pretty much Durham, York region. I've done a couple deals too, like in like Mississauga as well. So I'm kind of like where my clients need me, but I do focus on
Exactly,
in
exactly.
Durham. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Okay, give me 1 second. So I'm just gonna show you
Sure.
something. Okay. So this is what's screwing us up. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
This property lists at 155.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Really nice.
Very nice.
Okay. I'll just show
Mm-hmm.
you guys a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice, right?
Beautiful.
Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
sold for 136.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay.
So the problem now is now, and here's another comparable that we are in the same area. Sorry, I do this fast because I live on it. So if I go SC, last price high to low, high to low. This property,
Mm-hmm.
they were at 1475.
Mm-hmm.
They have a kitchen and basement apartment. They changed to 1425. And I talked to the agent. He didn't give me the number of exactly, but I think they sold at 135. So now all this is selling lower. And right
Ah.
now in Whitby, right
Mm-hmm.
now in Whitby, if I go to Whitby and I go to sorry, and I go to price and I go 1-1 or 1-2 because my property is at 1-4, but we changed it to low 1-3s now to 1-6. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's 102 listings available. It
Mm-hmm.
went up, and look at
Mm-hmm.
this new,
Mm-hmm.
and like they're changing it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
price change, that's different because they were holding offers. New 2 days, 132 days, 1 day, price drop 25 grand, 16
Mm-hmm.
days. But these guys have been changing price points. So if you look over here, like they started,
Yeah.
these ones are new, but most of the other ones are look, 47 grand price changed.
Mm-hmm.
They tried holding offers and they brought it up 190. 64 days on the market, 3 days. They've changed their price. I know they have because I've been looking at this stuff. Yeah, see, look, they were at 135 and they price dropped almost 100 grand.
Wow. Yeah.
But like, look,
Yeah.
nothing's moving. 77,
Mm-hmm.
15, 11, 52, 35. And then this is our listing that we have that we just dropped price. I told them to go lower, but it's hard. Which is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just nothing is
The next one.
moving. 60
Yeah.
days, 50 days, 64 days.
Yeah.
Out of 102 properties right now, if I go to SC, there's only four. Just
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
that's like
So much.
8%.
Yeah. That's so much inventory for the buyers to negotiate downwards. So the price would probably
Mm.
just continue to,
Exactly.
you
Keep
know?
trending downwards.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
they changed price 130K.
Woo. Sorry.
They dropped 50. No, it's okay. They dropped 50K.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm dealing with the same type of things and having a conversation with my clients. I said, "Hey guys, we need to be under 1299. We need to relist at 1299." They freaked out. But they're like, "Oh, well, if I knew this, I would have bought a house because they bought and then sold. Well, and they're selling now." But I said, "Guys, you
Mm-hmm.
guys have to remember the property you bought listed at $2 million and we got it for 1,375.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you guys have to understand, like I understand you have value, and this is a really good conversation to have with everybody, okay? Because my clients were saying, well, Nick, if we don't sell it in maybe a month, then we'll just take it off and leave it in spring. But I go, how do you know that spring will be better? If prices
Exactly.
are falling even faster now, by the time spring happens with more inventory, how do you know it's not going to be lower
Exactly.
then? And right now,
Exactly.
inventory will start going lower. You just have to wait,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And also, well, maybe I'll rent it, but I wouldn't rent your house. Your house is nice. What if the tenant doesn't pay? What happens if the tenant
Damn it.
damages it? What happens
Yeah.
if it takes you 6 or 10 months to get one of your tenants out, which some of my landlords are doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you miss the boat? And now, guess what? You get capital gains on top of that. It's not
Right.
worth it. But the hard part is
Okay.
they want their price, like any
Mm-hmm.
seller, because they want a certain number because they need a certain number. But that's kind of where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
So
hard.
this listing, it expires at October 30th.
Mhm.
So to be quite honest, Nick, they're very difficult
Yeah.
um, somewhat abusive, right?
Yeah.
So to be honest,
You don't even know if you want it anymore.
yeah, because I would think like maybe okay, maybe like list it in the winter. Because again, with the inventory being lower, maybe we get a better opportunity to get the price that they want. But at the same time, like I really don't want to take any more shit, to be quite frank, it's just it's
But I think it's
yeah,
about setting the tone.
sorry,
I
yes.
think it's about setting the tone.
Yeah.
I think you should keep this listing because this is going to be a lot
Mm-hmm.
of learning for you. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, like give me examples, and then I can just role play them. Not word for word or whatever. Like, don't worry. Like, this is just between all of us anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
But maybe not them. Give me another client that you've heard before or whichever.
uh well, they'll just be like, well, we bought the home, and we really fell in love with the home. We paid that price for the home, and I'm
Did they
sure that
find
somebody.
COVID?
No, when they bought like about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the issue. So they bought right at the end, as the market, I guess, is starting to turn somewhat, and I think they paid too much for it, to be honest. And now I think they're looking to recoup the cost. Yeah.
They bought with someone else, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you know? So, okay. So, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I understand where you're going. I just have a few questions just to make sure you're good. Okay. So, number
Mm-hmm.
one is when you bought the house, did the appraisal come in right, or did you have to put extra money in when you bought the property?
No, I didn't have to put any extra in.
Okay,
It
so
was.
you bought for
Mhm.
market value at that time. So Keisha, we understand, right? We all
Mhm.
understand that in real estate, the secret to making money in real estate is to buy, hold, and sell, correct?
Mhm.
So we know that if you're buying something for 1 year or
Mhm.
whichever, we understand that you're not making money. And unfortunately, when you bought, you still bought in that market, which was market value at the time, but the prices have fallen now.
Mhm.
So let's be real. As a buyer, let's talk about you being a buyer now. If you know that,
Mhm.
prices are not where that is, right? And this is where
Mhm.
today's price point is, how can I, as a buyer, give you the number you want? Because now I have to be concerned about the appraisal. If the appraisal doesn't come through, I don't have another 100 grand to give you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. And I can understand that you need the money, but unfortunately, the market doesn't care. Respectfully, the market is
Mhm.
only going to give you what the market's willing to pay. And unfortunately, you're losing money. And that is a
You know.
hard pill to swallow, but this is
Mhm.
the reality of it.
Well,
And you're moving
they'll be like,
because,
no, Nick. I know the market. Yeah, I see what's going on, and what
but
else
if
did
you
he
see
say?
what's going
Yeah.
on, Keisha, then
Yeah.
you would know what I'm seeing. And I can give
Mhm.
you tons of supporting evidence, like I have
Mhm.
been, to show you where the market is. So the thing
Mhm.
is maybe respectfully you're in denial, or B, you have too much of an emotional connection to the property.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the problem, right? So
Okay.
which one are
Mhm.
you? Which one are you in? To me, it sounds like you're just
Both.
yes, right? But remember,
Mhm.
like you're hiring me to help you navigate through this tough market. We have not seen this market. Yes, we've
Mhm.
seen low markets, but we haven't seen the market go on steroids in 2020, 2021, 2022, and then be like, in recovery mode for this long,
Yeah.
right? So we
Mhm.
have to understand that. And remind me, why did you want to sell again? Like, how come they need to sell?
Well, they want to move back home.
Which is like
So,
out of
like out of the
yeah.
country. Yeah.
So I understand that you want to move home, and unfortunately, with the market and how it's trending, with these higher properties, they are selling lower and lower. So the question is, do you want to stop the bleeding, or do you still want to be where you at and then sell 100 grand lower than what I'm telling you now? The choice is yours.
Well, we'll just relist it next year in the spring and get a better price.
Totally understand, but how do you know that you're going to get another better price in the spring?
We'll take our chances.
Okay.
I don't.
So
Yeah.
so so if you're
Yeah.
going to take your chances and you sell 100 150K lower, because
Hmm.
remember we have a lot of external factors. We have our best friend Trump that's saying random stuff on the news, okay? Who's doing tariffs. And let me ask you a question, Keisha. When you think
Hmm.
about real estate, we all think about making money. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. This time in history, we have been in a part where real estate is not making you money because of the COVID times. Because we're not
Right.
at those price points anymore, right?
Hmm.
And you're
Hmm.
telling me you want to get to where you want to be faster. So let me understand something. You think you're going to sell higher, okay? In your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
you think you're going to sell higher in the springtime, but what you
Mm-hmm.
fail to realize is that you're going to be listing when everyone else lists. So you're only listing in a time where there's more competition and your property may not stand out. Whereas now inventory will start going down and buyers will be forced to buying something. And that keeps our
Mm-hmm.
prices up. But you're the real estate agent. You're telling me that, respectfully, you're telling me that next year spring is better, but we don't know. This year spring
Mm-hmm.
sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do you want to take your chances again? Do you want to be, the question is, do you want to keep losing more money?
I think I'm need to have that more
You have to be
direct
aggressive. You
conversation
have to
a
be
little bit.
real. You have to
Yeah.
be real. And
But
like,
yeah, how do you deal with the really aggressive people though? Because they're very aggressive, unreasonable. I like I've never dealt with this before. So
so let me
how
ask
would
you a
you deal
question.
with
How many
someone?
showings are you getting at your price now?
Well, very little. That
Like
I
one a
actually
week or
yeah.
one every 2 weeks?
We had maybe 3 to 4 a week.
Okay, that's pretty good, to be honest with you.
Is it?
What's the price point?
So we're listed at 1,099,000.
Okay.
Um,
What's the
but
feedback that people are telling you?
it's smaller. It's a semi. It's a smaller home. It's they
What are the
want
same semis selling for?
so some of the recent semis is like 1,050,000.
Okay. And what's the
Hmm.
number that they want?
1,070,000 or a
Have you
million.
considered have you
Mhm.
considered doing holding offers at 999 or 899?
I did do that. Actually, when I first put it out, I listed at 999 and we got tons of showings, but the offers were so low,
Gosh.
coming in at like 900,000. Like people were just trying to steal the house, really. And once I told them the amount of the offer, they got super pissed at me. It's like, oh, this I have to present it to you, and I'm trying to present a strategy and how we can. I got multiple offers and trying to present like a strategy how we can kind of play, get the, to kind of compete with each other, right?
Mhm.
And it's like over their head, and they're just like 900, that's such a bad price. You're a bad agent. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's like that. I think I'm making this way too personal, Nick, but
You
yeah,
100% are. And that's the hardest
you know.
part. So just to help, and I hope you find
Hmm.
value in this, but like, this is what I would say. So, hey, Keisha,
Yeah.
but understand, I'm actually even upset with these offers, but you have to understand legally, I have to present every offer, regardless of the
Hmm.
time for a dollar. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do I agree that these prices are low? 100%. So remember, I'm
Hmm.
working for you and I'm on your side, but this goes to
Hmm.
show how tough this market really is, right?
Hmm.
And you have to understand that the comparables that we have are selling lower and lower. So
Hmm.
how can if and an appraiser, if things are selling 75 grand less than what we are listed now, how will we get
Hmm.
appraised to the number that you want? Because no buyer, let me ask you a question. You buy a house, you're 100 grand short. Are you and now you and the appraisal came 100 grand short. Now you have to put 100 grand debit. Are you going to do that or are you going to walk away from the deal?
Yeah, walk away.
Exactly. So why do you think a
Yeah,
buyer's going to give you the money?
because I want it. Like that's
I want
basically
it too.
their
Listen,
answer.
I want $2 million. I would love to get you $2 million.
Honestly.
I would love to, right? But
But
you
yeah,
have to understand, like, this is what
yeah,
it is. The market is telling us
yeah.
what it is, right?
Hmm.
Unfortunately, we have no crystal ball. And what I can tell you that in my 10
Hmm.
years of real estate,
Yep.
this is a very scary time.
So
And
Nick,
remember,
here's the thing.
yeah, sorry,
Sorry,
you go, Lisa. No,
sorry.
no, no.
So here's the thing. So I got another offer. So when we relisted it, it's working with this agent, and I got an offer of 1,020,000,
They should have took it.
100%. And they're like, oh no, let's counter back at 1,080,000. I'm
Idiot.
like, that's basically countering back at full list. And I'm like, no, like we can lose this offer. Like this is good. And they're like, no. And then again, the whole rant and rave and
So,
yelling.
so this is what you have to say.
Yeah,
The question
yeah,
is, are you motivated to sell?
I
Because
think
the
they
way
are.
that you're playing right now, you're not.
Mm-hmm,
And you're being truthfully, and I'm like, as a friend, you're being
mm-hmm,
unreasonable,
mm-hmm,
right? So I mean,
mm-hmm,
what would you like me to do? Like, this is what the market is telling us.
mm-hmm.
This is what reality is. So it sounds like you don't want a reality check, but this is what reality is. I think what we should do is go see some properties that we're comparing to. And remember, we're semi. There's some detaches or links
Exactly.
that are going to be selling in our price point. So if I was a buyer, why would I get a semi when I could get a fully detached house
Exactly.
for the same or a little bit more than what you're listed at? It doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
And that's why these things are selling less.
Hmm.
And listen, you hired me because I'm the professional, right? Okay. So this is what I'm saying. It's like going to the doctors. When the doctor says, hey, hey, this is your symptoms, you need this medicine. Are you going to tell them, no, you're wrong? That's what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? So you have to be like,
Okay.
you have to let me know, like, are you motivated to sell? How badly do you want to get back home? Because there's no guarantees that next year is better. And I'm telling you now, the way that things are looking right now, it doesn't look good.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to be upfront and honest. You may not feel so, but I'm truly working hard for you and I'm bringing you offers. You're just not coming down to reality.
Hmm.
So what would you
Hmm.
like me to do? How many showings have you had in total? 30 showings?
With both list prices,
Sure.
no, not 30. I would say maybe 20.
Okay, so we've had 20 pre-approved buyers coming into this house, and we've got
Hmm.
offers at where we're at. This is the market telling us where we're at. So
Hmm.
either do you want to understand and accept it, or do you want to keep being in denial or respectfully and not be
Hmm.
realistic and lose even more money?
Hmm.
I don't want that
And
to
here
happen.
and here's the thing too, Nick. So after, obviously the seller or the other buyer clients didn't accept the counter. And like I feel stupid like even presenting that to my colleague, but got to do what
You gotta do
my
what's right.
client wants, right? But after, up the deal died, my clients called me back like maybe the following week and asked me, to see if they're willing to still negotiate.
No, you
But
lost it.
exactly. And then there and still
But you have to
the
say it like this.
solution
This is the way
that
you have to say it, Keisha, though. Sorry.
mhm,
This is
mhm,
what you have to say to make people understand, okay? Because I
mhm,
do a ton of different leads, and especially with online leads, you don't know what you're getting. Okay. So you're dealing with aggressive people. I've been yelled at. I've been sweared at. I've been like crazy, crazy. And I still get the
mhm,
deal because I don't take it personal and I come
mhm,
with facts, right? And this is what it
mhm.
is. So, Keisha, let me ask you a question. You put an offer in, you gave a decent offer for what the market's giving, and you got the seller gave us full list price. How do you feel as a buyer? How would you feel? Would you
I
want to
would
come back a week later, or do you think that your price that we if they came back would be lower because they feel insulted as well?
exactly definitely lower price. Or
But do
I
you say it
wouldn't
like
even
that?
want to deal with you really
You
after
say it like
that.
that? I would say all that real, being real with that,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you, and you're still being unreasonable. So can you now listen to me? Maybe I can get them back, but it's going to be at the number that they sold for. They're coming in at. This is what it is, and that's where it is.
Hmm.
Are you willing to
Hmm.
do that?
Hmm. Okay.
You just have to be
Okay.
real. And
Take the
honestly,
gloves off,
yes,
basically.
you have to be
Hmm.
real.
Hmm.
That's where you're making your money.
Hmm.
You're
Okay.
being real. And you know what? They can't get mad. If they are, they're whatever, but they can't. They can't literally get mad at you if you're doing your job and you're letting them know.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
on them. And like they're doing this because they're losing money. And anybody that lose money, you see their true colors.
Yes.
Can't take it personal because we don't know what other things are going through.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yep, I'll just have that straight up conversation
Be
with them
real.
and just be just,
And
take it
remember,
or yeah.
if they're getting to the next level, like they're starting to yell,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You need to control your tone. Hey, Keisha, I understand. I understand that you're frustrated. But remember, we're teammates. We have to speak to each other properly. This is the basic human right that we have. I understand that it sounds like you have a lot of pressures and losing money is not easy, especially in today's market and especially going back home. But remember, we're teammates here. So please, please, let's speak to each other properly.
Hmm.
You control that tone. Do you see how that the tone controls it? And then they're going to be like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm being an asshole,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now
Okay.
you're setting the tone of what respect is,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Okay.
You got to
Okay.
just lower it, talk softer. Just, hey, listen, I understand. But
Hmm.
we're on the same team. I'm trying to get you things. We're getting showings. I'm bringing you offers. You're just not coming down to reality. So can I leave you a voicemail and can you call me back when you come down to reality? Like I would make a joke, right? To make it easy, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So, and then I would laugh. Like I just, they're stressed. We just have to manage it. And this is real estate is all about managing emotions. It's not about just selling real estate.
Yes.
But don't take anything personal. I truly don't. I really don't. And I've been dealing with a lot. You just got to be
Okay.
like, yeah, I get it. But like you hired me because you thought you know that I'm the best fit to do this. So trust me.
Mhm,
That's it.
mhm.
You're doing a
Thank
great
you
job.
so much, Nick. Thank you so much.
I hope
That
that
was
helps.
great. Absolutely. I was making notes in between. Thank you so much, Nick.
No problem. And feel free
Thank
to
you.
message me on Instagram or whatever if you need any more
I'm gonna
support.
find you. Yes.
Yeah, so it's just Moretti Real Estate. But I
Okay.
can definitely help you out, so don't worry.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Hey, no problem. Now,
We're
just
all
before,
gonna need an update.
yeah, right,
See how it went.
right. So I know you can't leave us on a cliffhanger now.
No,
Next
it's like
time we see you, I
like
want to hear
part
you
two.
build it. Yeah,
Part
exactly,
two.
exactly. So,
Uh,
so Keisha, congrats. You're doing a great job. Now, I know we have about 10 minutes left. Is there
mhm.
anyone else who may have any questions or may have any, more support conversations or role playing that they need in their, where they're at right now?
I don't know.
Come on, Keisha was
Not
really
so
good.
far. Yeah.
Everyone has to be somewhere.
I think, and I was speaking to a realtor in my market, which of course is very slow. Um, is they're still encountering, and this comes across the board, where you guys are encountering the sellers that are just not realistic with what the market is doing. And we're a smaller area, but a lot more realtors are now actually refusing listings because they're not,
100%.
none of them are going to take the listing on if these sellers aren't willing to actually work off the advice and the information and the market to actually list at a price where the house will sell. So most of them are just walking away. So we're not seeing, an influx of listings going up simply because the realtors are saying, no, we're not doing it.
Right. And I
Nope.
think the other thing that I'm dealing with, the last two listings I've had, was after it staged, their expectations went up.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a
Yeah.
tough one because I got
Mm-hmm.
I got super pissed.
Yeah.
But at that point, they got you for the staging bill. Do you just list it just to hopefully get another lead, or do you just pull the
Mm-hmm.
plug?
Yeah. It's tricky. And I think that's too is with the cost of the listings now too. If they know the property is not going to sell and you're putting in however
No,
many
not worth
thousands
it.
to list and market that house, it's like it's not worth it. It's money out of their pocket that could be
Yeah,
potentially lost.
100%.
So they're walking away from the opportunities or
100%.
potentials.
With
Mm-hmm.
our listings that we have about 10 listings and more, like a couple more coming. I'm already 40 grand out. So 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking any more listings unless they understand where we need to be. Most of mine are
Mm-hmm.
good, but you just get some people that are not. And I've been a realtor that sells literally all my listings in my 10 years. This year, I had one or two that didn't, which eats me alive, but it was out of my control. So
Yeah.
it's tough. But I mean, this is the market.
Yep.
So, what you have to do in this market is you maybe need to go home after a long day, take a shot or smoke some weed and just go to sleep and then get ready for the next day.
Wait and be,
Get ready for the next
yeah.
day,
Right.
you know?
Brace
So,
yourself. Brace yourself.
100%. But I think more than ever right now, and just like, what Keisha and even I'm going through, you can't take these things personally. People are losing a lot of money, especially if they bought in COVID times.
Hmm.
And like also too, a lot of people are over leveraged, even if they didn't buy on COVID times. There was a
Yeah.
seller that we had who was an original buyer, like original buyer of the property. And when we sold it, the property like 15 years later, they've only walked away with 200,000.
Yep. And you're going to see it next year too, because those are your 2021 buyers where their mortgages are coming up for renewal. So
Wow.
same idea. So this year, essentially a good part of it is obviously the other influence of tariffs and market scare. But a lot is overpaying for homes, needing to get out of their mortgages, and they need to or trying to sell at this price. We're going to see the same, I think, in 2021 or in next year
I
because of
know.
those 2021 buyers that are in that exact same boat.
I honestly, hopefully 2026 is the stable year, but I think maybe 2027, 2028.
Hmm. We'll see. We'll see.
I hope
Takes
I'm wrong.
takes
I
the
just, I
more buyers.
truthfully just want to go back to COVID times where you list sold, list sold, list sold. There was no
I know.
waiting. I mean, obviously, I don't want COVID to come back, but I want that market to come back
You
because
wanted to be the listing agent on that, and those
sold
ones
by
really.
list for 900, sell for 1.5. Okay, perfect. Firm,
Yeah,
the
barely
buyer
get a
now,
sign up.
firm, no condition, 2 mil. Okay, bye.
Yeah, yeah. No, except for the buyer agents, and I was speaking to those guys, you guys were running around like monkeys. It was a zoo out there, and your cost per, your salary, or essentially the amount you're making per dollar per transaction, it was almost next to nothing based on the
100%.
time and effort you were
Time and
spending.
kilometers and gas, which is
Hmm.
nothing.
Like it was exhausting. That's how you wanted to be a listing agent.
Yeah.
Was the way to go in that market. But yeah, we need something that's like, those balanced market, that things are just moving, nothing crazy, everyone's happy. There's
100%.
still wiggle room here and there, right? So what we can
100%.
all hope for.
100%. 100%. But yeah, like that's kind of where the market is right now. So it's tough. It's hard. You're dealing with a lot of like problems, but I tell people like in real estate, I don't just sell real estate. I'm a professional firefighter. I put out fires all the time. And whether that's clients jumping off the ledge and I'm jumping with them with a parachute, whether that's, having those hard conversations, whether that's, having a good cry with them if they need it, like you got to just do whatever you need to do to manage your clients because it's
Yeah.
hard. It's emotional.
It's stressful too. It is stressful. You get, especially in like some of these buyers, the sellers are stressed if they're financially stressed. The buyers are stressed because they're put all through these like, hoops that they have to jump through just to get financing, just to get, all of that, right? I'm like, they call it a stress test for a reason because it
Yes.
stresses you out.
100%.
So it
100%.
is definitely, yeah, you wear many hats, that's for sure.
Have to. You have to, right? But I think other than that, like just remember it's not you in this market, it's just the market. So don't, and I keep saying it, this is what my mentor has always told me. Nick, don't ride the highs too high and ride the lows too low. Basically meaning when you think you're crushing the deals, don't go around feeling like you're the big buck. There's always someone better than you and has a better business than you in real estate, right? Don't
Hmm.
go around your office saying, "Hey, I'm the best. I have this and that." Like you don't do that, right? You be respectful. Number two is when you're going through a shitty time, just remember it will pass and you just have to just get through it.
Hmm.
You want to be in the
Yep.
middle. Just coast.
Yep.
So don't take the highs too high and the lows too low.
Yep.
So that's if
Sure.
you take anything today, that's what you guys need to take away today. And that's it. Any other questions? Crystal, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't think so. I don't
Well,
think so.
I appreciate everyone that came through today. I hope everyone has a great day.
Yeah.
And yeah, let me know if you guys need anything at all. Always blessed to be a part of Agent Locator and help every agent out here. I remember being a new agent 10 years ago. Holy shit. I don't have that much gray hair either in this market, but I remember what it feels like, and you just have to, this market's tough. You just have to keep calling, you have to keep prospecting. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah, just keep going. You keep your
Just keep
your
going.
business balanced. That's all. It's not going through those. I call it the valley of despair. It's just coast, right? The
100%.
opportunity does show up. And there's buyers out there. You guys they're in your system 100%. It's it's
100%.
it's just having those conversations and not being your own objection as to why you're not reaching out to them.
100%. 100%. But you guys are the best. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope everyone has a great day and keep living the dream.
Awesome. Thanks,
Have that
everyone. Thanks,
shot later on
Nick.
in the day.
There you go, right? Awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.